There are times in life when something stirs in our hearts. An inner voice calls us to something greater, something more than we've ever known. You might not be able to put it into words, but you can feel it. You sense that change is coming, and it's coming in ways you least expect. Today, I want to talk about signs that God is about to change your life forever. These aren't obvious signs or what you expect to see. These are unexpected moments that may feel like challenges at first. In reality, they are moments God uses to prepare you for something bigger and greater. I'll share 3 unexpected signs that God is working in your life. He's moving in ways you may not yet understand, but these ways will change you from the inside out. Think back to a time when you faced a challenge. Maybe it was a loss, a setback, a betrayal, or a failure. Whatever it was, it felt like the end. But what you're facing right now is not the end of your story. It could be exactly what God is using to shape you into the person you need to be. The Bible says, "Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning." Psalm 35. What you're going through, though painful, is not a sign that God has abandoned you. It's a sign that He's preparing you for something greater. I know it's hard. You might feel like giving up. But remember, God never promised the road would be easy. He promised He would be with us even in the darkest valleys. The struggle is where change happens. It's where your character grows and your faith gets tested. When you feel that weight pressing down, remember this: God is not only present in your pain, He's working in it, through it, and beyond it. When the storm rages, know it's preparing you for the calm that follows. God isn't just bringing you through this. He's using this moment to make you stronger. Don't quit when things get tough. What looks like a setback is often a setup for God's plan to unfold in your life. Sometimes God doesn't speak to us in loud, dramatic ways. He doesn't always show His plans with obvious signs. Often, the most powerful changes in our lives come through quiet moments that seem small, but are actually God speaking to your soul. In quiet moments when you're alone with your thoughts, God often speaks loudest. You might be sitting in your room, looking out the window, or walking down the street when something stirs within you. It might be a sudden peace or an overwhelming feeling of love. It might be a thought or idea that comes to mind, something unexpected. These quiet moments are signs that God is speaking to you. They are His way of preparing your heart for what's next in your life. We're often so busy that we miss these moments, but it's in stillness that God works powerfully. The Bible reminds us, "The Lord is near to all who call on Him, to all who call on Him in truth." Psalm 145, verse 18. Even when you don't see it, God is near. Even in silence, God is working. He might not use fireworks to get your attention. He may use a quiet nudge in your spirit. You may not recognize it as a sign at first, but if you pay attention, you'll see God showing you something new in those still moments. That peaceful whisper is the beginning of change. When God speaks to you in the quiet, listen carefully. It's often in the smallest moments that He plants seeds of the most significant changes in your life. I know there are prayers you've been saying for years, prayers for breakthrough, healing, direction, or purpose. Some may feel unanswered, and you might wonder if God hears you at all. But God has not forgotten your prayers. Some of your greatest blessings will come from prayers you think have gone unanswered. God doesn't always answer prayers as we expect. Sometimes the answer is no, not because He doesn't love us, but because He has something better for us. Sometimes the answer is not yet because He's preparing us for what's coming. Sometimes the answer is silence because He's teaching us to trust Him while we wait. Looking back at your life, you'll realize that some unexpected blessings came not from prayers answered as you wanted, but from prayers answered in ways you never imagined. God is always working behind the scenes. When you can't see it, He's moving mountains, opening doors, and guiding your life in ways you might not understand. Sometimes what we want most isn't what God knows is best for us, but in His wisdom, He gives us exactly what we need at the right time. There are blessings in your life right now that you may not see as blessings because they came in unexpected forms. As you continue to trust God, you'll see that His plans for you are greater than anything you could have imagined. If you feel discouraged today, if you feel change will never come, know that God is moving in your life right now. You may not see it or feel it, but He is working in ways that will change your life forever. The struggles you face today are not the end of your story. They are the beginning of a new chapter. The quiet moments you experience aren't meaningless. They are moments God uses to speak to you. The prayers you've prayed, even ones that seem unanswered, are being answered in ways you may not yet understand. God is about to do something amazing in your life. He is preparing you for something greater than you ever imagined. Don't give up. Don't lose heart. Keep trusting, keep praying, keep believing, because the best is yet to come. When you look back on this moment, you'll see how God used the unexpected to change your life forever. The challenges you face aren't just obstacles to overcome. They are part of a divine plan set in motion for your growth and change. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by difficult situations, to feel like your hardships are the end of the road, but see those struggles through a different lens. They aren't the final chapter of your story. They're just the beginning of a new one. Every trial holds the chance for deep personal growth. In life's hardest moments, we often find the greatest opportunities to change and become who we were meant to be. When everything feels like it's falling apart, remember that sometimes things need to fall apart for something greater to come together. You may not see it now, but your struggles are setting the stage for something bigger that will show itself in time. Think about refining gold. Gold doesn't stay in its raw, unshaped form. It must be heated to extreme temperatures and cleaned through intense fire before it can shine fully. We're refined the same way through life's challenges. The fire of hardship doesn't destroy us. It makes us stronger. It burns away what holds us back from reaching our full ability, leaving a stronger, more stable version of ourselves. It's in times of hardship that we learn what we're truly capable of and find strength we never knew we had. Remember that struggles often show us our deeper purpose. When we go through difficult times, we must dig deep to find faith, courage, and determination we may not have known existed. This process helps us get closer to our God-given calling as we see things in a new way. The struggles you face may be preparing you for a role or mission you can't yet see, but one that's key to the greater story God is writing for your life. Through these challenges, you gain wisdom, experience, and compassion that will later help others. God never wastes a moment of pain. Every difficulty has purpose, even if you can't fully see it now. Your life isn't random events or meaningless suffering. There is a bigger plan at work, a divine story that unfolds through both victories and trials. When you look back on your life, you may see that the most difficult seasons led you to greater understanding, greater joy, and a closer relationship with God. Don't be discouraged when life gets hard. Don't see struggles as signs of defeat or failure. Instead, view them as chances for growth, chances for God to shape you into who He created you to be. The pain you feel today isn't the end of your story. It's just a chapter in a much larger story that God is developing. In that story, you're meant for greater things. Things that will be shown at just the right time. Keep trusting, keep believing, and remember, struggles aren't the end. They're often the beginning of something new, something beautiful, and something far greater than you could ever imagine. Change and guidance from God often come unexpectedly, not through big gestures or dramatic events, but through quiet, subtle moments that catch us off guard. We often look for clarity in the loudest, most noticeable ways. We wait for thunderous signs or clear messages that seem obvious. But God doesn't always work in loud, external ways. More often, He speaks in the quiet of our hearts, in the stillness when we're alone with our thoughts. When the world around us is silent and our minds are free from distraction, that's when God prepares us for what's next. The world might be rushing around you. You might feel like everything is moving fast. But in those brief moments of stillness, God tries to speak directly to your spirit. It's easy to overlook these moments because they seem small, but these are the moments when God works in your life. He plants seeds of inspiration, peace, and understanding. Think about times in your life when you felt real clarity or peace. Most of us have had moments when, out of nowhere, we feel a deep sense of comfort or direction. Maybe during a walk alone, sitting in a quiet room, or during reflection. These seemingly small moments are often where God is most present, offering guidance and insight for our next steps. In a world full of noise, it's easy to get distracted and miss these moments of divine help. We think change must be loud, dramatic, or overwhelming to be real or important. But many of the most important moments of growth and direction come during our quietest times. God is not far away. He is near and constantly whispering to our hearts. The key is learning to listen, to quiet our minds long enough to hear His voice. There are times when God may seem silent, but His silence isn't a sign He's absent. It's an invitation for us to come closer, to open our hearts more fully to His guidance. In these quiet spaces, we can hear His whispers more clearly. It's there that He gently leads us toward change, encouraging us to take steps we might not have thought of otherwise. When you feel inner peace or a sudden sense of inspiration, recognize it for what it is, God's guidance quietly shaping your next steps. Sometimes God's guidance doesn't come with grand moments or a lightning bolt of understanding. Instead, it comes like a soft nudge in your spirit, a subtle idea that grows over time. In these quiet nudges, we're most open to change. They allow us to match our hearts with God's will without the noise of distractions. Through these moments, God prepares us to move forward, make decisions, and trust the path He has set for us. As you go through life, remember to welcome the quiet moments. Seek times of being alone, even if they seem small or unimportant. Trust that in these moments, God is working within you. Listen closely for His voice, and you may find that the guidance you've been seeking has been there all along, waiting for you to pause, reflect, and hear His whisper. So next time you find yourself in a peaceful moment, don't rush through it or think it doesn't matter. That might be exactly when God is preparing you for what's next. gently leading you to greater understanding, a new direction, or renewed sense of purpose. In life, we all face times of uncertainty and longing. We pray for things we really want: healing, success, love, or direction. At times, we feel the weight of waiting and wonder why our prayers seem unanswered. It's easy to question if God hears us or if He's paying attention to our needs. But God's timing is perfect. The silence or delay you may feel isn't a sign that God has forgotten you. It's part of His divine plan. God isn't limited by time as we are. We live in a world where time feels like constant pressure. Everything has to happen at a specific moment. If it doesn't, we feel like we're missing out on something important. But God's view is different. He sees the beginning and end of every situation and knows exactly when the right moment will come for you. His sense of timing is flawless and rooted in His love and wisdom. There are times when we ask for something and the answer feels like no or not yet. These answers can be hard to accept. We want things now. We want resolution now. We want our prayers answered how we picture them. But a no or not yet isn't a rejection of your prayer. It's God's way of protecting you and guiding you to something even better than what you first asked for. Imagine you're a child asking your parent for something, maybe a toy or a treat. As a child, you might not understand why your parent says not yet or wait. But the parent's wisdom lets them see the bigger picture. They know that giving you that treat or toy at the wrong time might harm you or might not be right for you in that season of life. In the same way, God as our loving Father knows when something is truly best for us. Sometimes He has to delay what we want to prepare us for the future He is creating for us. We often don't see the bigger picture, and that's why trusting God's timing can be so hard. We only see a small part of the puzzle while God is arranging everything from a place of perfect understanding. There may be lessons to learn, character to be built, or circumstances to line up before we can step into the blessing we seek. It's easy to get frustrated during these waiting periods, but remember that God is working behind the scenes. Every delay has purpose. Every moment of silence is part of His divine plan. The Bible teaches us that God works all things together for good for those who love Him. Romans 8:28. This means that no matter how long the wait or how silent things may seem, God is always at work in our lives, even when we don't see it. His plan is good, and He has promised to provide for us at just the right moment. Think about times in your life when you've looked back and realized that God's timing was perfect. There were times when you didn't understand why something didn't work out as you wanted. Only later did you see that the delay led you to something better or protected you from something harmful. It may have taken years for you to realize it, but in the end, God's perfect timing always becomes clear. In those moments when you feel like your prayers are unanswered, trust that God isn't ignoring you. He's listening and preparing you for something beyond what you can imagine. The delay, the silence, or the no is part of a greater plan that's unfolding in your life. It may be hard to understand now, but if you keep faith and trust in His timing, you'll see that God's answers are always for your good. So when you face a time of waiting, don't lose heart. Trust in God's timing even if you don't understand it. Know that He's always working, always guiding you, and always leading you toward a future better than anything you could have planned for yourself. Keep praying, keep seeking His will, and know that in His perfect timing, everything will come together according to His perfect plan. Remember, God is never late. His timing is never off. It's always exactly what you need when you need it, for His glory and for your good. Life has a way of putting us in difficult situations, times when everything seems to be falling apart, when challenges feel too big, and when we feel alone and unsure. In those moments, it's easy to lose hope, to question why things are happening this way, and to wonder if God is even there. But in those times of difficulty, faith becomes not just important, but essential. Faith in its truest form isn't about having no struggle or pain. It's about trusting that even in the middle of the storm, God is working behind the scenes. Our difficulties may not make sense right now. We may feel like God is far away. But remember that God never leaves us. His presence isn't based on what we see or feel. He is always with us, working for us, even when we can't detect it. The Bible tells us that the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Psalm 34:18. Even in our most painful moments, God is closest to us. When we are weak, He is our strength. It's in those broken, vulnerable places that He does some of His deepest work in us. The trials we face aren't God's punishment. They're opportunities for us to grow, build resilience, and trust Him more fully. When we face difficulty, it's easy to see it as something bad or something we want to escape. But really, difficulties are the very things that God uses to prepare us for the future He has planned. They refine us like gold in fire, burning away impurities and making us stronger. They make us more focused on His purpose for our lives. These trials stretch our faith, deepen our character, and prepare us for His plans, even if we can't understand or see them clearly yet. Think about times in your life when you faced struggles that, looking back, changed you. Maybe you didn't see it then, but those challenges made you stronger, wiser, and more caring. Maybe they led you to a place where you could help someone else going through similar trials. God uses tough times to build our character, teach us to rely on Him fully, and prepare us for blessings ahead. It's in our moments of struggle that we have the chance to truly trust God. Faith doesn't grow in comfort and ease. It grows in hardship. When everything is going well, it's easy to trust God. But when life feels like it's falling apart, that's when we have to hold on to our faith most tightly. It's when we don't understand why things are happening, or when we feel at the end of our rope, that God is still working in the background. He's doing things we can't see and preparing us for something beyond our current situation. God's promises remain true even when we're going through difficult times. He has promised never to leave us or forsake us. He has promised that He works all things together for good for those who love Him. So when you face hardship, hold fast to your faith. Don't let your circumstances control your belief. Trust that God is at work even when you don't see immediate evidence. He is preparing you, refining you, and equipping you for what's coming. Remember that God doesn't waste our pain. Every challenge, every heartache, every moment of struggle is part of His larger plan for us. Even though we may not understand why right now, we can trust that He is using everything. He shapes us for the future He's calling us to. The trials you face today aren't the end of your story. They're simply preparation for the next chapter that God has written for you. During difficult times, don't lose heart. Keep your faith strong, even when the path seems unclear. Trust that God is working even in the silence, and that He is preparing you for something greater than you can imagine. The challenges you face aren't punishments. They're steps in the process of becoming the person you were meant to be. Hold on to your faith. The God who has been faithful in the past will continue to be faithful in the future. He hasn't abandoned you in your struggles. He's right there with you, using even the most difficult situations to shape you into the person He created you to be. In life, we often wait for blessings, hoping for things we've prayed for, dreaming of rewards we think we deserve. We picture blessings in specific forms: the perfect job, ideal relationship, financial stability, or good health. But what if blessings aren't always what we expect? What if God's blessings come in forms we don't recognize at first, maybe disguised as challenges or prayers that seem unanswered? It's in these unexpected forms that God's wisdom and love shine through, offering deeper blessings than we could have imagined. When we face struggles or difficult times, we often see them as setbacks, obstacles, or signs of being abandoned by God. But sometimes the very challenges we face are the blessings we've been asking for, just wrapped differently. It's easy to miss them when we focus only on what we want. We expect things to happen a certain way. By changing our view, we can start to see that what feels like a setback may actually be setting us up for something greater. God's blessings aren't always immediate or obvious. Sometimes He answers our prayers not by giving exactly what we think we want. Instead, He leads us through something difficult that teaches valuable lessons. These lessons, though sometimes painful, often open doors to greater opportunities, deeper relationships, and stronger faith. By trusting God through these challenges, we discover new strengths and wisdom. Sometimes unanswered prayers are actually the greatest blessings. We may pray for something specific, a certain job, a particular relationship, a solution to a problem, only to have it not work out as we hoped. At first, we may feel rejected or discouraged. But as time passes, we often see that God had a better plan. The job we wanted might have led us down an unfulfilling path. The relationship we sought might have caused more pain than peace. The solution we wanted might not have been the right one. God's wisdom is greater than our understanding. His answers to our prayers often match better with our long-term happiness and growth than what we first envision. The Bible reminds us in Isaiah 55, 8-9, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." This verse shows the truth that God sees the bigger picture, the entire landscape of our lives, while we often focus only on what's right in front of us. His ways are higher, and His wisdom far surpasses our understanding. Sometimes He withholds something because He has something better in store. Or He leads us through trials because He knows the growth we'll experience will be worth it in the end. Look back on your life and think about times when you felt disappointment or heartache. Now look at where you are today. How many of those challenges, failures, or unanswered prayers turned out to be blessings? Maybe the job you didn't get led you to a career that fulfilled your passions. Maybe the relationship that ended opened the door for a healthier, more loving partnership. Maybe the struggle and uncertainty brought you closer to God and helped you trust His plans more. By learning to recognize blessings in disguise, we open ourselves to appreciate God's wisdom and perfect timing more deeply. We begin to see that His love isn't just in moments of ease and success. It's also found in moments of difficulty and waiting. Every challenge, every unanswered prayer, every detour from our plans can become a chance to grow, to trust, and to experience God's greater plan for our lives. So next time you face a challenge or what seems like an unanswered prayer, try to change your view. Instead of focusing on disappointment, ask God to show you the blessing hidden in the situation. Ask Him to help you see His hand at work, guiding you and preparing you for something greater. As you do, you'll begin to see that God's blessings often come in unexpected forms. In the end, they're exactly what we needed. In life, there are moments when everything feels uncertain, when struggles seem endless and the future appears cloudy. We all face seasons where nothing goes the way we hope or expect. It's easy to feel stuck, to doubt things will ever improve, and to question if something better waits for us. In those times, remember this powerful truth: the best is yet to come. When we're in difficult seasons, it's hard to see beyond the struggle. Our minds focus on challenges, disappointments, and fears from our current situation. But even when everything seems to be falling apart, God is working. He's working behind the scenes on something greater for you. Even if you can't see it, even if you can't feel it, a divine change is happening in your life that's preparing you for a future far greater than what you could have ever imagined. God doesn't waste a single moment of your life. Every pain, disappointment, heartache, and struggle has a purpose in His greater plan. His ways are higher than our ways, and His timing is perfect. While we might only see a small piece of the puzzle right now, God sees the entire picture. He is arranging everything in your life for the future He has planned. The challenges you face today aren't the end of your story. They're part of the process leading you to something far greater. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." This verse reminds us that God's plans for us are good, even when life seems hard, even when we can't see the way forward. God is working on a future filled with hope, joy, and blessings. His promises never fail, and the future He's preparing for you is beyond your wildest dreams. It's easy to lose sight of this truth when the road gets tough. But it's exactly during those times that we must keep trusting, keep praying, and keep believing. God is always working, even when we can't see it. The change He's working in your life might not be visible right away, but it's happening, just like a seed grows in dark soil before bursting into the light. The work God is doing in you might be hidden for a season, but it's leading to something amazing. Think about seasons in your life when you've seen growth, even if it wasn't instant. Sometimes the best things take time to unfold. Sometimes we must walk through wilderness, go through waiting periods, and face difficulties to be ready for coming blessings. God isn't only preparing your circumstances, He's also preparing you. He's refining your character, building your faith, and growing your trust in Him. All of this is shaping you for the future He has prepared. The Bible is full of stories of people who faced huge struggles, yet God was working behind the scenes, preparing them for something greater. Think of Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and thrown into prison. His dreams seemed shattered, but God was with him. Eventually, Joseph became a leader in Egypt, saving many lives. Think of David, anointed to be king but waiting years while facing betrayal and hardship. Their struggles weren't wasted. They were part of the process that led to God's promises being fulfilled. The same is true for you. The struggles you face today aren't the final chapter. The setbacks, heartbreak, and uncertainty are all part of the path leading to something greater. The best isn't behind you, it's ahead of you. God is working things out for your good, even in the middle of what seems like chaos. He's shaping you, guiding you, and preparing you for the amazing future He has already planned for you. So don't lose heart, even when the road feels long and difficult. Remember that God's promises remain true. Keep trusting Him, keep praying, and keep believing. The change He's working in your life is setting you up for something far greater than you could ever imagine. The best is yet to come, and your future is filled with hope, joy, and the fulfillment of God's perfect plan. No matter what you're facing today, know that God's work in your life is far from over. He is always working for you, and He has something incredible in store for your future. Hold on to that hope, because the best is yet to come.